Apparently, we are just breaking away from all of the new map norms here with Rancho Del Arroyo. We're out here in multiplayer for the second time in as many days, and usually I like to save multiplayer for several days down the line when a new map comes out, but as you guys know, I had my trip to Georgia and I literally just got back, I guess 2 days ago by the time this video is coming out, but I'm recording this still on the night of release day, and after a stream, I think 2 videos and then plus this one, I wanted something a little more chill than single player, so we're gonna run around and see what we can find out here in multiplayer. And I am kind of excited because it's gonna keep the single player experience a little more fresh. So I'm curious to see if this is gonna be a good way to approach future new maps. It is always nice though, regardless of what map we're on or how new it is, just to pretty much go and hunt whatever's active and not worry about anything specific. And that's gonna be kind of the goal today. We might as well take both gobblers since we have the chance. The one had a chance of being a diamond. Now, I don't know which is which, but I think this would be the bigger one. Or maybe that would have been the smaller one at 4.1. I was sure that I saw the bigger one die over on this side, so then this will be the one that had a chance of being diamond. Gold at 4.4. We continue to get a bunch of 9 to 11 kg Rio Grande turkeys, but none that have been really even all that close to being a level 2 diamond, which is probably a good thing. I'm sure you guys have noticed that this is not the normal upload time, and that's because today is the last day of June, and I always do the best of the month montage on the last day of the month. Just because this is literally the second day the new map is out, I didn't want to skip out on an opportunity to hunt this map, so I figured we would yet again do 2 videos in one day. It's hard to resist the temptation to at least go and check whitetail zones right now, because at the time I'm recording this, and I'm guessing there's going to be even more, there's been like 4 great one-shots just since the map came out, and we are in multiplayer, so you never know what might be out here, even if we've checked these spots on our own maps. Now, I think that doe is actually on our way, so we're going to try to drop her and then get the follow-up in there to the buck. We are running with a 303, so she has to completely get out of the way. Then we had to rack another round, but definitely got them both down there. It was a little bit rocky. We were kind of struggling to get the follow-up shot in, but even managed to drop them both in their tracks. I don't know if I've seen that before. Somehow, I guess because the doe was there, the way that his head was laying down was more like, I guess, straight. And then once the doe carcass despawned, he went at an angle like that. Kind of interesting. But a 184 silver. I do like this rack though with the more mass and less tines. Just seems a little more realistic. Check that out. Not only do we have a level 3 pheasant, but a really high estimate on him as well. 20 to 23. I think 20.3 is diamond. So of course we can't just go running in there and we can't just shoot him with the 22 because that would get us the grounded score. We'll try to sneak in there, but I think their feed zone ends kind of soon, so we'll have to try to somewhat make this quick, and the wind's not good. Even though pheasants shouldn't actually be able to smell us, the wind direction does affect things, so we'll see what we can manage. Worst case, we'll kind of have him go defensive and try to run at him and get him to flush that way, but I'd like to do it by whistling and kind of, you know, more properly. This is what I was afraid of though. They're kind of moving off. I think just naturally because their feed zone ended. I'm not even sure where our rooster is. He might still be over here. I haven't seen him. I think we're going to grab the shotgun. Unfortunately, because we've spotted some of the hens, we're not just immediately on his trail. But yeah, we're just going to run up here in case he does flush, because he might just be here. If he's not, what we're going to have to do is try to find his track and figure out exactly where he went, because he's clearly not in here. He must have walked maybe before the hens over into wherever they're headed now. We need that 2 to 3 kg track, or honestly, just kind of get them to go defensive somewhere over here and hopefully manage to shoot him out of the air when he flushes. There's his track. So he did, I guess, just scoot over here when I couldn't see him. I would have thought I would have seen the more brightly colored bird go in here. This rooster has led us on an unbelievable chase in, I couldn't tell you how many circles, but while he's defensive, we're going to just rush right in here. When they're in that defensive state, they don't flee until you get right up on top of them, and just as long as he doesn't fly through the trees, I think we're going to be okay, and maybe even to make it a little less likely, as we're just running into a cactus, we're going to go on this side of him and try to flush him out of the brush. it's just been ridiculous to try to get in a position for a shot on this guy. And finally, we managed to drop him there. I hope far enough off the ground, but when he was about to go into the brush, I was not about to lose him again. That is a 21.2 diamond pheasant with a 2.5 kilometer tracking distance. I can't believe we just tracked a bird for 2.5 kilometers, but it's a big one. 21.2 is a good sized diamond, almost a full point above the minimum. Skull and everything, right where you want the shot, so I'm proud of that. And there's our diamond with the 16 gauge as well, so we can switch up our loadout if we want to now. And that will go nice with our other one for a multi-mount, but I just cannot believe what we went through to try to kill that. All because I wanted to really make the multi-mount more so than actually get that specific diamond. That's getting kind of far. I'm glad we went ahead and grabbed the 10 gauge because I saw it was a rooster and it definitely wasn't that big. I think it said 11 to 15. But with a 16 gauge, that would have been going even further. And I just figured for the sake of changing it up, we'd bring it again. And when we did the test in early access, the 10 gauge did really well. I'd be curious to know just exactly what the 16 gauge would have done in that specific scenario, but it's so hard to test specifics when you have multiple pellets hitting the birds. But luckily, even with what I'm guessing is probably 2 or less, it didn't go that far. Let's see what we actually had there. It was 2 hits and 1 into the skull. 14.6 where gold is 15.5, so just a decent little common, but nice to continue the pheasant hunt. I'm wanting to kind of scoot down through here in the southwest now. Well, that is not a bad find. I think that's a red fur type. First level 8 of the live game. I know we shot a couple in the early access. There is a pheasant somewhere down that way. I was thinking earlier, I don't think I ever got to actually explain because that level 3 just led us on such a ridiculous chase through all that brush that I didn't kind of get to finish my thought. But the reason that I even wanted to go for pheasants in the first place is that somebody posted an albino rooster earlier and they just look amazing. So regardless of how long it takes, that is something I really want to get. And now, especially with the diamond that we have, we could make a really cool multi-mount if we could find one. So I think probably if we can go and get this guy, we might spend some time in other areas and just sort of hope to find some. But for the last little while, I've been spending time mostly in areas where I expect to find pheasants. I don't know that there's anything super special, but I'm seeing quite a lot of antler over there just kind of right below where we can actually shoot. Not much luck actually following that pheasant, but I decided to stop up here at what is easily the best whitetail lake on the map, just because I wanted to go to this lodge, because for whatever reason, fast traveling to this one always spawns you over here. So I don't know if they have them like kind of crisscrossed or why that always happens, but I figured we'd go and unlock the outpost and check. And yeah, I don't know that any of those would be a 3, so what we'll probably do is go ahead and pop that 85 to 100 there, and we'll just sort of watch and see what they do. I mean, man, that one could be. Might have messed up. We'll pay attention here. That's a decent 2. It's the one that was a little bit wider up there in the front. That's going to be a 2 as well, though. So we might have actually been okay, unless there's a 3rd, which I wouldn't be completely shocked by. There were a lot of deer in there. I don't think there's anything super special, so we should be fine. So I don't mean to spend a ton of time actually chasing these guys. I pretty much wanted to just stop up here, but that's a decent one at 214. I'm not really sure what to specifically target right now, because whitetail are drinking. Maybe we'll kind of just go to areas where we might find other stuff as well as them. I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking that might be a melanistic hen pheasant. It's so hard to tell because the grays are a super common color, and they're like a darker sort of variation as well. But that seems especially dark to me. A shot like that's going to make it really easy to tell. Another rooster off that direction, so we might go and check the track. What do we have for this? That is a melanistic. I thought it was just a little bit different, and that's what it is with a lot of rares. You see so many commons and just like variations that are similar, but just picking up on a slight difference can be pretty much the little thing that gets you chasing after something that might be a rare. Gotta get this guy to actually flush. They've been acting really weird in multiplayer, just doing a lot of that. Did he just somehow completely avoid that shot? I think he did, and I am assuming that's the one that called a minute ago, so we should be good there. This hunt has become like 95% just pheasant hunting ever since that albino got posted in Discord. But None of us are rare, just not quite the one we're after. Yet again, we're so close, but just one level off. I think that's our second mythical coyote on this map. In fact, I'm sure it is. Because on the stream, which I guess by the time this video is out would have been 2 days ago, but for me it was today actually still. So I guess yesterday actually. But it was one of the first things we had was a max weight estimate coyote track, and we tracked that down and it ended up being a pretty small mythical, but it's good to see the amount of like high level predators so far. I think just the fact that both wildcats and coyotes are at least reasonably active during the daylight is going to be a good sign for getting trophies of both those species on the map. But I think actually with this guy, which is probably a tiny bit bigger based on that weight than the one that we killed on stream, we are going to head back to the trophy lodge and put together our pheasant multi-mount. We had a pretty good sized molting one on the stream, and of course our diamond from today, so it should make for a pretty decent multi-mount. So our first of what I hope to be many extra small platform multi-mounts, and it's a pretty good one. I mean, a 19 scoring molting and a 21.2 diamond. Just, I like the variety with the pheasants already. I really, like I said, want to get an albino one, but for now we'll be happy with the molting, and pretty cool we have 2 new multi-mounts already, a total I guess of 3 diamonds between them, and I'm looking forward, like I said, to just continuing to hunt for more. I mentioned in the early access that I'd be really going after pheasants for multi-mounts like this. I think especially for the tables, it's just such a nice little change of pace from like what we have over here, with just a single rabbit sitting there, so I'm really hoping to do more of that in the future. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. As I mentioned earlier, there is going to be a second video tonight, just with the June montage, the best of June diamonds and rares. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.